Guys, I know I'm just a guest, but people come to me a lot of the time and they will ask me to come up with a jingle for them. And so I've kind of got a skill in. So I've been thinking about for your show, like what specifically would be a good jingle. But before we go to that, I'd love a little bit of just like input from y'all on what you're looking for in a jingle I got something in mind, but I want to make sure it actually fits with your brand. So tell me a little bit more about what an ideal jingle would be like for y'all.
Music in there.
Catchy and perky, sort of energetic, I would say.
I like perky things.
Okay.
Jingles, tits. What else?
Maybe get some
light bulbs. Were you thinking light bulbs
I was
too?
thinking
Light bulbs. Okay, is that enough?
That's enough.
Okay.
So I'm going to make a couple notes here. I've got a couple changes I got to make real quick.
Okay.
All right, here we go. Okay, I'm going to lay it on you. This is first draft based on some of my prep work and your idea. And so here we go. Ba 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 ba. Good idea.
That's good. And I like how you incorporated all the things we gave you too. Like it was
unique. Never been done before. Not an IP infringement on anything.
Mm-hmm. So do we want to all do that together? Maybe like a harmony sort of situation.
Yeah, I think I'll go low.
Oh, you'll go low. Okay, I can go medium or high. Which do you want, Bradley? Do you sing it all?
I don't, but I will.
Yeah, do it for sure. I think we can just figure it out.
Maybe one person. Maybe you just speak it. Don't. That's
maybe one person talks it to give it a grounded
the
base.
Opposite of harmony. And make it accessible.
How many bop bop bas are in this? Just so I know.
Man, that's like you've only heard it once and you already have it down.
Yeah,
See, this is what I'm saying.
It's good. It's really catchy. It's really catchy.
It's perky.
It's good. It's good.
Ready?
Okay.
Good idea.
We forgot to do the last part. Should we run that one more time?
Let's do it one more time.
Yeah.
Good idea. That's good. I think that's really good.
It's a rap.
That's a rap. No, it's not a rap. It's a jingle.
My friend Ronald told me about that one. He gave me a little input on it. He came alongside and did some work from that.
Goofy. That sounds totally.
Some guy ran up and stole his lunch right afterwards. So we had to head out real quick.
Sounds like a real clown.
He grimaced and then just ran off. It was absolutely insane. And so,
I mean, I think if there are any nuggets of wisdom you can take from that.
Yeah, he looked pretty fried. Like at the end of the day,
he looked fried.
Yeah. So.
That's really cool.
Copyright infringement is a good idea.
I think burgers is a good idea. Has anybody ever tried burgers?
Good idea is a brain trust your brain can trust. It's a comedy podcast where we come up with creative, actionable solutions to your real life problems.
I'm Aiden Kinsella.
I'm Bradley Berklich.
I'm Michael Marchand.
I'm Tony Vasinda.
And this is Good Idea. Ba-ba-ba-ba-ba. Good idea. Okay, I'm glad some of us.
I was on the same page. I got you.
Yeah, it's good. It's good. I felt the wavelength.
I got in before the end and out before.
Not before the end.
I came in the middle.
It's kind of like the episode of The Office, that funny show where Jim talks about the secrets of good party leaving tricks, where you show up late and leave early. It's good. I love The Office. You guys, how are you today?
I'm great, despite the rain.
Okay.
I ran between the raindrops, as I told y'all on the way over here.
And, it was really cool.
I wasn't wet with raindrops. I was wet with sweat because of the amount of physical exertion it took. It looks a lot like raindrops.
It was impressive.
Yeah.
It was
Sonic over here.
So
she got it going like a turbo vet. She's sweat wet. What? Who are you, man? You look like Jonathan Colton a little bit, which makes that funny.
Thank you.
How often do you get that?
That might be the very first time I've gotten that. So we actually created a brand new improv-based card game that we're really excied about right now.
It's super cool.
It's called Brand Standing. It's also a podcast you can check out at bstheshow.com, or you can check out the game and the Kickstarter
at
bsthegame.com. But it's yes, it is like there is an implied bullshit quality to it. It is a party game. One of the things we love about it, because there are games you may have heard of them, things like Apples to Apples,
worst game ever,
Cards Against Humanity. You think Cards Against Humanity is better than Apples to Apples?
I think Cards Against Humanity is a trash card game, and I think Apples to Apples is better. I don't think either is good.
Let's weigh in. Let's quick.
So here's the deal. I think Apples to Apples is the worst card game because people that play Apples to Apples think there's actually strategy in winning that game, and that's bullshit.
But the people who play Cards Against Humanity think there's actually strategy.
People who play Cards Against Humanity want to get drunk.
I will say this. There is social strategy in that game. However, the problem if you play with people who play that game all the time, there's an internal dialogue that associates those people who play the game all the time. Mm-hmm. And so they I know this is so-and-so's favorite, so if I play it, I'm going to win. I don't want to, that's not interesting to me.
That's not fun.
Play with a new group and learning what makes individual people laugh. There's an observational strategy to that. It's very weak. It's a bad mechanic. And we don't like that type of game. So we wanted to move the game based on a question that Mark and Michael asked me. That question was...
Yeah, so if you owned a milkshake place that served both your normal everyday milkshakes, but also delicious boozy milkshakes, and your exclusive clientele was parents who were taking their kids there to tell them they were getting divorced, what would you call that milkshake stand?
Grandstanding. That's how you came up with that name.
Grandstanding. Well, we're going to come back. I want to actually answer. So okay. I was asked this, but as we were leaving Idaho.
3, 2, 1. Okay, keep going. Sorry, Tony.
So we were crossing over from Idaho to Seattle to Washington State whenever I was asked this question by Mark and Michael, who had been discussing it for probably way longer than anybody should have. And we talked about our best ideas for names. I was like, this should be a game. And they asked me, hey, is there a game like this already? There has to be. And I said, there's one similar, which is Snake Oil. At the time, there was the only one other game that was kind of really similar. I played it, but it was like a product pitching game. It was the same kind of thing. If I make you laugh, I get the cards. And neither one of us like that kind of game, especially that much. I think Snake Oil is better than any of the other games we mentioned. Mm-hmm. And I would play Snake Oil.
Like Fun Employed.
Like Fun Employed, yeah. Those are good. I love those games. Yeah, there's actual creativity that comes into play. There's actual pitching and mechanics. Jackbox stuff is amazing.
I love Jackbox.
So anyways, there's a lot of things that are good games that are kind of tangential, but nothing that really hit it right where it was. We're actually building the brand of something, pitching it for funding. And so we basically, over the next 30 minutes, came up with the general concept. We actually stopped for pizza that night, pitched it to the guy who was our waiter, and he loved the idea. He was in business school. He was like, I would play this bet over anything I've done in my classes to learn how to do pitching and branding. And we should figure out his name one day to thank him. Thank you, Pizza.
If you happen to be listening.
Pizza Business Boy, call us. And so so we came up with a deck of cards on the way home. We came home, we wrote the rules it up, designed the cards the next day. Michael's excellent at just visual design and graphics and stuff like that. And 18 hours later, we played the first game of branding, where you pitch businesses you make from a couple of prompts over the course of 5 rounds. Every round there's an investment, so it simulates real business pitching and real mechanics. It's not just a laugh once and you're done. You've actually got to be able to go kind of the long haul on that. And you actually come up with these insane business plans for your random business that are absolutely beautiful and gorgeous.
And what's cool, what counters that apples to apples mentality is you're actually investing in the best idea. And so the primary investor, the person who invests the most money in the winning idea, also wins the game. So you don't have this weird mechanic of, I'm going to give my money to the crappiest idea so that my idea will shine. You actually put the money into the best idea.
I know voting's anonymous. I know who I'm voting for, right? I'm gonna, and if you just made me laugh once that round, that might be great, but that doesn't mean you have a business that I'm going to invest in. Now, for me, humor is a big part of it. If somebody is consistently funny, that's going to be a big indicator for whether I vote in that brand. Unless it's just, here's a whole bunch of dumb jokes that I could, but I don't actually have any sort of way to address whatever the focus was for that.
So there's a literal sort of business mentality in it. It's not just sort of you make your friends laugh. People are like, oh, that person's charismatic. There's literally actually a plan within the game.
Yeah, so you actually come up with your business basics one round, your flagship product or feature the next round, your traditional marketing, your online presence, your strategic partnerships and relationships.
You draw a logo, create a jingle.
That's fantastic.
It's really, really cool, and I'm very excited to play it. And you guys actually, I listened to your podcast earlier today, the Brand Standing podcast, which everyone should check out if they're listening to this. I think we're going to guest on it sometime.
Yeah, we'll have you guys on sometime soon.
I'm really excited about that. It's a really fun game. It's funny, but it also everything they're saying about all that strategy and stuff, it really does come into play, and I adore that in a game, which is why I kind of hate Cards Against Humanity and all this. It's just so non-creative, and this is so everything that isn't, and I love that.
Yeah, so we were playing. We have Adol Rafai, who's going to be on season 2 from Hey Riddle Riddle and
Hello from the Magic Tavern.
And at the end, I was like, "Hey, if you had a copy of this game, would you play this game?" Right? And he's like, "Yeah." He's like, "Here's the thing I love about this game versus Cards Against Humanity." He's like, if it says hey, dicks on this card and butt on this card, you're not being funny.
That's really funny.
Yeah, you're not being funny though. the card is funny if you think that's funny, right? That the cards are funny, you're not funny. He's like, games where you have to do the work. He's like, this is a game I would play over and over with my friends. And that's like a super strong endorsement. So check it out. But it's also of the fact that this is not just your average, like, dumb game. And so
it's not a card matching game.
Yeah, it's not a card matching game. Like, the card matching is just what gets you started. It has nothing to do with what everybody else is going to come up with. And so that's one of the reasons we were excited about it. It's one of the things that really differentiates it. And there's a couple different ways to play. The other big thing is you can't play Cards Against Humanity well, or apples to apples, with 42 people. In our game, you can do team play with huge groups of people. It's an absolute blast. People want to play over and over again because it takes about 30 minutes to do the team play all the way through. You play as like VC firms, and you actually do these like big crazy pitches to the entire room. So that's a little bit about our game. But and they'll kickstarting that game over at
I got to play
bsthegame.com.
Done that yet, but I'm going to. I'm really excited.
Right now, live.
I'll do a live
at the $500 level. Oh my gosh!
Holy shit! Where did he get all that money? So generous.
Thanks, Mom. I won't be eating for the next few months at college.
Mom, if you see a charge to your credit card, tell them that someone stole it.
but wait a few months.
But wait a little bit. It's going to be a month from now, just like if you see a weird charge, someone's going to take your credit card.
Yeah. So, and those credit card numbers are, but yeah, that's
the last 9 digits of your social.
That's at bsthegame.com. That'll link out to our Kickstarter. It's way easier than telling you some random gobbledygook thing. Eat People Dry Cleaners. That's at BS The Show.
I'm not on the correct website.
Yeah, you are not. BSthegame.com. It's been an absolute blast. And starting a Kickstarter is the most insane things. But we also met you guys through the Mbambinos podcast group.
Yeah, the Mbambino Face podcast.
Shout out.
I can't talk.
Shout out to all those guys, especially Colin and the guys on the Scavengers Network. And that group's actually been a huge part of making all of this happen also, too. They've been super supportive. Really excited that they came to our live show at PodCon. Some of our first backers were people like Shelley Has Opinions, and some of the other shows on that were their showrunners. And so we love that community. We love that we got to connect with you guys while we were in town through that also.
Yeah, I'm really excited about it. I'm excited to meet all of you, and have been excited to meet all of you. I kind of already did, but pull that curtain aside for the podcast. It's crazy. But we're here to do Good Idea. I think later on this episode we're going to play some brand standing. Is that
correct? Do that. We can make that happen. Yeah.
All right. Well, that's fantastic.
We have a handful of copies left.
Holy shit. That's exciting.
So I actually have an answer to...
let's come back to that.
Okay.
I didn't come up with a name for it, but I came up with a really good tagline.
All right.
So we'll slam together.
Do you have just a name and I have a tagline? Okay, that's good.
Mine was Cold Hard Times.
Ooh.
That's good. That's good.
Which is sort of fun.
Shakes for when it just doesn't shake out.
Oh, that is good. Okay, I will tell you, the best name we've heard so far is actually Michael's.
Mm-hmm.
And that is
Custardy Battle.
Okay, that's extremely good. And I like that because it acknowledges that fresh frozen custard, like the kind you get at Culver's, is not ice cream. And I hate it when people fuck that up.
Actually, that's my objection to the name is it's not ice cream.
It's not ice cream.
And a frozen custard that is blended up has a different name, and it is called a concrete. However, it still is the best name. And I will concede that.
It is.
Even objecting.
That's not what a concrete is.
Because it's an improv card game, we just say yes and.
Blizzard, we're saying with custard.
We just say yes and we move on. So
yes,
the best.
He's got you there.
The best.
Yes, and you're wrong.
The best tagline we have heard, without a doubt, is our friend Mark, who is the announcer on the show. One of his friends came up with it. Is I scream, you scream. That's why we're getting divorced. So,
Mark is right over there.
Yeah. So Rocky Roads Ahead are some of the is one of the flagship flavors, as well as tear salted caramel shake. Two Christmases is another. It's a seasonal flavor, and so you basically are going through and you're actually coming up with these different parts of business throughout the course of the game, and so then you go on to your actual marketing and all that kind of fun stuff. Anyone want to take a crack at a jingle?
A jingle. Can I try one?
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba, 2 Christmases.
Exactly, man. I don't know where you got that theme from.
It's good,
but
though,
that is,
it just came to me.
Just came to you. That's excellent, and so.
I love it.
Have some ice cream while your parents are getting divorced. Flash
It's
to the logo.
totally amicable. We're bringing our kid to the shake shop. Our kid to the shake shop to tell it that everything is gonna be okay.
It wasn't your fault. We promise. It's not your fault.
But Dad is going to the other side of town.
So it's not your fault was another tagline I heard once. I got a bakery for.
Not your fault.
Let's play with Brittany Bow from B-Bold Games. I got a bakery for people who were getting divorced, which was the only time I've actually gotten to play that one. And I did Fought Cross Buns. Was the bakery for people getting divorced. And our signature product was that everything was even portions. Like, you got the exact same portion as they did, so you didn't have to worry about who was getting more.
Hey Siri, take a note for me.
What do you want him to say?
Thought cross buns. That didn't spell that right. So, just had an idea for a song.
Hey, could I get this with a side of prenup? Oh, so everything right down the middle? Yeah, of course. Yeah,
everything right down the middle, right?
Right down the middle.
Also, all of the waiters there were legal aids. So if you needed just a little bit of help, I know they could take care of you.
That's really
you get yourself a private table.
Yep. And there were soundproof booths in case you needed to yell at each other or just go somewhere to scream for a little while. Everyone was okay. Free cookies for kids also because those kids deserve something.
That's really good. I think so. Dimitri Martin asked right before we get into the prompts. Live at the time, Brand Standing Friends and Family comes with one physical copy of Brand Standing the game. Gotta hit some continue on that.
Yeah.
So I am pledging to Brand Standing right now, live on the podcast, and I hope that everyone who's listening will go check it out because I think you're going to have a really good time when that game comes out. It's very fun.
For no reason, Aiden just became our favorite. Sorry, Bradley.
For no reason.
Okay.
But there's a $45 level, Aiden.
There's a $45 level?
Yeah.
Okay, that's good. That's good. For new and upgrading donors only, it's a secret level.
Yeah, there is no. So the Friends and Family will not be available by the time this comes out because that was for early backers. So you're getting in on the thing. There's an expanded version that comes with 3 expansions. That's $45. But you can add that in after the Kickstarter closes and successfully funds for $1 million.
For $1 million,
we only need 20,000. But if we got $1 million, it'd be great.
Probably get $1 million. I feel like that's probably
so.
With the good idea bump, we're right.
With the good idea,
oh yeah, of course.
Because we have $1 million worth of listeners.
Well, here's the thing: you only need one. You only need one listener with $1 million.
We started our podcast in Lake Forest, so all of our listeners. We have 5
if you liquidize the assets of our listeners,
if we liquidize our listeners, we could probably make them.
Let's not liquidize.
Hey, let's get real. Hey, Aiden's mom. Thanks for listening. We appreciate it.
My mom does listen. She sends in a lot of the prompts. So when you look on there, it says Kristen Kinsella. That's my mom.
That is? Oh, that's awesome. I love
really
that.
Cool.
I love that. It's a family affair. So we created a pledge level that is specifically for people's moms who want to support their kids.
I do think that's a really
and that's the $500 level mom. Mom Vasinda. Go check it out.
Mommy Vasinda, can you just check that out really quick? I do think, and I don't remember what it was now. I had a really great, funny joke about your game to do.
Okay.
What were we talking?
Really good laugh.
Can we run it back? That's good. Can we run it back just a second? Because what did you say? It was something about moms and supporting the show.
We created a mom level that we specifically actually give a shout out to moms at, and that's the $500 level.
$500.
And that your mom should go back it at that level.
Should back it at that level.
Yeah.
I think that's really good. My mom sends it. I don't remember what it was. It was a good. It was about the divorce thing. I don't know. I'll listen back to it. I'll hear it.
Okay, hold on. Okay. Here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna pause here, give you some space for the joke, and we're all gonna laugh really loud. So just give like 2 seconds.
Okay.
And then
there should be one donor level. You get 2 boxes of the game, one for each house.
Brilliant.
Good job. You did it again. A masterpiece.
I like that a lot. And I had to laugh at it myself, too. And I'm going to cut this part out where I explain it. I had to laugh at it myself, too, because I laugh at my own jokes more than anyone else does.
Yeah.
So I wanted to make sure that I retained true to the sadness.
Hey, what if the Grinch stole Easter? AJ Generis.
That's very funny. Hey, thank you, AJ. AJ is also in the Babim Bambino podcasters group. He's the first person I met in that group. Hi, AJ. Hi, AJ. How are you? What if the Grinch stole Easter, though?
That's a good question. Has he already stolen Christmas? Is this like Christmas? Is this Act 2?
I don't. Well, which do you think is more interesting?
Well,
do you want to explore? Let's explore at least one.
I think he stays bad. His heart does not grow, and he's like, you know what? I need Easter as well.
It's the Clue alternate ending version.
Yeah. He just got that taste. So even though his heart was bigger, all that did was give him better cardiovascular health in order to steal Easter later on. So this is the Grinch Part 2.
The auxiliary gift.
I just wonder if the Who's make as big of a deal about Easter as Whoville. Right, like Christmas is a big deal.
They're a very faithful people.
I believe so.
I mean, the name of their race basically is an existential question of them always searching who. Who?
That is a good point.
I thought it was a band reference, but
No,
right.
no. That's absolutely not. That's Kissville.
I actually so much for Yes and. I watched the
Supertramp
so
sound?
much for Yes and. I have a different answer. I watched the Grinch, the new one that came out next. I don't know if you guys saw that or not. But the in that one, they did a good joke about how the reason they're called the Who's is their founder was like the first one that fucked himself and turned into all the other ones. How he wanted.
Wait.
No, so that's not the joke. That's actually in the original Dr. Seuss. Kind of like Grimm's fairy tales, sort of.
The Who's are asexual? Are they bacteria?
No, just the first one.
Just the first one.
Just the first one.
Was it
a highly sexual species.
Well, here's the thing. I always wonder. Horton heard a Who,
He did.
and then there's Whoville, and so did Horton hear the Who's from Whoville?
That's totally
He heard one of the Who's from Whoville, but the reason.
But was it the first one? That's the question.
It was. I think it was the first. It had to be the first Who. He heard a Who, and then all of a sudden there's a bunch of Who's, and I think. As they explain it in the new Grinch movie, it is they called themselves the Who's, or he called himself at the time the Who's, because whenever they were wondering like which person their friend was talking about, they felt like it was easier to sort of turn it into an affirmative instead of a question.
Okay.
So like they'd be like, "Yeah, you know Jeremy, who exactly?"
We always know the best thing on a podcast is just a little bit of dead air after a comment. That's absolutely the best thing.
I just want to go back. So the Grinch is like genuinely like a scary creature. Right? He's not a happy creature. He's a scary creature. But if he's in the Who universe,
Are you scared of the Grinch?
The
I'm
Whooniverse,
scared of
please.
the Grinch.
The Whooniverse.
The Whooniverse.
Thank you.
If he is part of the Whooniverse, right, that means that he needs to be small enough to be a speck on the flower that Horton hears.
Correct.
Who's in, which makes Horton absolutely terrifying.
Horton's like an
Because that means
eldritch
he's
beast.
Enormous.
I mean, he has just the one long tentacle on the front of his face.
But you have to think about the fact that Horton exists on his own flower one level up.
It's just Hortons and flowers all the way down here.
Right.
You ever thought it's weird? Oh, there's like atoms and there's things that go around atoms like planets and moons and
that's weird.
stars.
It's the first Who was actually named Adam. It was very small.
And here's the thing that I think. Here's the thing that I think. I do think what would happen if the Grinch stole Easter, right? Because in the first one they just come out and they sing anyways, which just I think kind of proves like they've had everything taken. Easter is now a very austere experience, right? So they just return. Easter.
Mm-hmm.
They've returned back on Easter's services to just a simpler way of being, and so I think he'd have to steal the idea of Easter
This
in
dude
order to do
nicked all our
that.
wafers.
Like, so I think it becomes more of a mind heist where he actually has to travel into the memory of every Who and actually remove every memory of Easter.
So sort of a Sam Beckett Quantum Leap 2.
Yeah.
Or Who.
So Quantum Who.
Doctor Who. Quantum Leap. This is nothing. Keep going.
If we're staying true to the Whooniverse.
If we're staying Who to the Whooniverse.
Who to the Whooniverse, please.
Who to the Whooniverse. After Christmas was stolen, they still sang. Right? So I want to know what songs they still sing after Easter.
Yeah, so after Christmas, they sing a song that I believe goes, Baru Dadu, Limi Dimi Taru Faru, right? So
Mecca High.
So after the Easter, they sing Faru Taru Bibi Daru Taru Faru Baru Haru Daru Faru Tiri Taru Daru.
Obviously. I don't know why I didn't think of that myself. But.
Jesus just never got back up again. He just stayed in the tomb. Also, all of our Bibles are missing now.
Which is why we have bad theology.
after Easter, the Grinch sings. You know that song like that they do in the Parks and Recreation. The eggs, bacon, and toast. But then after Easter, it's just no more eggs. and then it just stops because he took them all.
So let's talk about what happens to his heart. So he successfully travels into their minds, hoping the next leap will take him home. He steals the memory of Easter from all the Who's.
Okay.
They sing the song that they don't actually know how they know the song. His heart expands even more. Now, remember the first time when his heart expanded, it broke out of that cage. Those edges are sharp. So he has a coronary on his way up the mountain with all those memories, I think.
Ooh, okay.
Just
AJ, why did you kill the Grinch? That's what I want to know.
AJ killed the Grinch.
AJ. So Easter is the last holiday that he gets to steal.
As far as we know. Now, here's the thing.
Okay.
Does he gain some sort of resurrection experience? Like, do all those memories soak into him and allow him to come? Who knows? There's just a question mark as the lights fade out. So we don't know what
the
happened.
new Jesus is what you're proposing.
That's what I'm hearing.
Greasus.
The new
Greasus. I think I kind of have a question in regards to this Grinch resurrection.
Greasus sounds like a
I feel a little dirty
rapper.
now. I feel a little dirty now.
I think when we talk about religion relatively irreverently, ironically enough, often on this show, and I think my big question about this new Christ figure is: do you think he smells worse when he's alive or after he's become a corpse? Because there's definitely an intentionality to his stench, like an intentionality, if you will. And now that he's stolen all these eggs, I know if he's going to surround himself by them,
I am having trouble processing this one.
You understand what I'm saying? Like, he
Not
smells
quite.
bad. They talk about how he smells.
He intentionally
Like rolls around in mud.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like he's done a smell mask to make sure the dogs can't find him after he steals all the eggs. Now the eggs, because they are going to have this sulfurous smell, his smell mask must be really, really strong. So that he has to make it extra strong this time. Does he smell worse after he dies and can no longer maintain the smell mask, but he's rotting? Or is the smell mask that good?
So I think that because it's so cold on the mountain where he lives, the stink germs don't get killed.
Okay, so he dies, he's going up, he dies, all his stink germs die at the same time because they need a living host on the mountain.
Well, and because of the cold.
That's what I'm saying, to keep them warm. They need
it doesn't decompose either, because it's like...
Correct.
It's like the bog man.
Which makes it easier for that question mark to have a whole lot of ways it can go the next time.
He's now the incorruptible Greasus.
Right. He's the Lich King, like frozen Lord of the Mountain. Grinch Jesus. I can't do Greasus. That makes me feel horrible. Sorry when I say it.
The Star Wars character General Greasus I thought was cool.
Who had the 4 Christmas hams that he spun around to hit Anakin Skywalker with, and we all cheered.
Lightsaber, he has a 39.5-foot pole.
I'm taking these from all the houses I stole ham from. There were 4. Perfect. Matches my arms. That's good.
But can it be a laser ham?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a laser ham.
Because,
that was understood.
Okay.
It's clearly a laser ham. It's glazed hams? This is a glazed ham.
This is, I say. Or it could just be a glazer ham.
Ooh, glazer ham.
I like glazer ham a lot. Hey, you guys want to do another prompt? I feel like this one's losing steam.
Sure. And we don't want the steam to melt the corpse.
You could either pick one or you could...
The frozen Lord of the Mountain.
Why don't you guys pick one?
Can I just ask a question?
Yes, please.
So, very seriously, I was wondering yesterday.
Okay.
Lightning McQueen.
Okay. Me too.
That's a good question.
Does he buy car insurance or life insurance?
I don't feel like this is complicated.
I think it is
I
complicated.
feel like you are
It's the same thing.
overcomplicating this.
It's clearly life insurance.
I don't know. I don't think it's the same thing.
No?
I think car insurance and health insurance are the same thing. In the cars universe.
I see what you're saying. Okay. Yeah, no,
Except
I agree.
my car insurance takes care of it.
No, this is a
if
false
it dies
dichotomy.
also.
This is a false dichotomy.
But it's not true. If my car is dead,
Only
car insurance.
Oh my god!
It depends on how it dies.
Grinch insurance.
This is good. If your car gets old and dies, insurance doesn't do anything for you. Insurance doesn't do anything for you in the case of natural death.
Okay.
Right? Like, and so a lot of...
If it gets stolen, if it gets taken from my life...
You are implying that in the Cars universe, you can just replace yourself with another fucking different modeled car?
Well, we don't know that's not true.
That's just, we can't.
Yeah. No. It is. What happens is they go inside, there's like a medical procedure, they take out the white bit behind the windshield with the eyes on it, and they just put it into another car.
It's reincarnation. It happens.
Oh, boo!
No, that's true. There's a
reincarnation.
Yeah, I know. You just got there.
It took a little too long.
So here's why I think it's like health insurance, right? And not like life insurance.
I'm ready to hear.
I'm sure there is a corollary, but I think I would just call it life insurance because they are sentient living cars. So it's health insurance because if you get dinged up or if something happens to you, right, that is when that insurance would kick in, which is the same thing that health insurance does in our society today. Mm-hmm. If you get old and die of natural causes, right, your health insurance doesn't do anything for you in the same way that an old car that just no longer runs doesn't get to cash in on car insurance, right?
That's true.
Life insurance is a different thing.
But your car insurance takes care of it if somebody else does something to your car. It's not just wear and tear.
Why are you trying to kill cars?
I mean, it happens.
Where's your dark taste for oil come from?
I think that when a car gets dinged up, it's a problem that their health insurance, car insurance, doesn't pay for the abortion.
Yeah, here.
If that was the end. That was the end of the joke.
Okay.
Do you think a
What
car?
I really wanted to know is, don't we think it's weird that in a world where the people are cars,
Mm-hmm.
that he travels around inside of his friend Mac? Like, I just...
Oh, that's like it's a Bjorn.
Yeah. It's like a Bjorn.
I love
You told me the other day you wanted me to get a giant baby harness and wear you around. You said it.
That's exactly what that is.
Does that mean the trailer part of Mac is not alive?
It's a
Just the
yes.
front?
That is correct. That is correct.
Wow, that's
Because also remember,
game changing.
he can look inside. Like you remember he can like. No, do you remember like in the cars you can talk to him via a TV screen
You're right.
on the inside. I do think I don't know if there's a picture of him detached, but I feel like there is. I feel like he can leave, which would be great if I could take parts of my body and leave them behind and come back and pick them up later. That'd be amazing.
Sort of like a calling car.
Yeah, like I probably wouldn't pick any one particular part to leave behind as a calling car. I'd probably pick like small shavings of a number of parts to leave behind.
This is easy.
That's like fingernail clipping.
Hey, Aiden.
Yeah, here.
That's true.
There we go. Hair.
That was that visual gag was great. Was great.
I know the listeners. We often make visual gags, and we then explain them to the listeners.
Even better because we usually record remote.
Yeah. And then no one
So you lean over and plucking his hair out remotely is even better.
It's he's got a really long. You know those like grabber arm things that you use for trash when you're on probation.
Your experience is
I know
not
the long
universal.
grabber arm things that you can use to pick up trash. Period.
You know those things you have to do when you got caught speeding and you had to your grandma has to drive you to the correctional office and you go out and
No, those are actually for skiing. The ones that they use are for skiing.
And I usually drive my grandma to the correctional facility. She does not drive me to the correctional facility.
Yeah.
So stay safe, Grandma.
Do you think you can like key each other? Is that just like a knife?
Yeah, can a car key another car?
Yeah, that's a good question.
That is a good question.
They don't have hands.
Do they have keys?
That's an also good question.
Like I feel like the key. I feel like the key is like the carotid artery of a car. Like if you can get their keys, they die instantaneously.
You like Kalima, like
yeah. Like,
It's good. It's good.
That's definitely it.
I feel like in the Cars movie, they leave certain characters behind and they pick. Sorry, I implied that it's not real. In the Cars universe.
In the Cars universe.
They just leave certain characters behind. Do you ever just wonder like what happened to those characters?
Like who do they leave behind?
Dang it, I was hoping I could ask you that question.
I know there's that one car at the beginning that like has all flat tires, begging everyone for money on the side of the street, and no one is
That
helping.
dude's an amputee.
Oh, quadriplegic.
Yeah.
Quadriplegic car.
Do you feel like cars and planes, like who if they both went sentient, who would win?
I think the cars are in the real world.
I mean, I think the planes definitely have a kamikaze component that they can tap into that the cars don't have.
But there are a lot more cars.
There are a lot more.
Like,
this is like a 1,000 tiny horses versus one giant Godzilla.
Sure, 1,000 tiny horses. But here's the thing. Here's the difference.
Yep.
Planes have to come down at some point in time.
Yep.
Cars never have to go.
Well, no, they don't. Because what about the bomber planes that used to fly, where they had the fueling planes fly over the plane?
But eventually they have to restock, so that lasts for a period of time.
Those planes have to go back down, but the ones that are in the air don't.
Right, but once they go back down and the cars destroy them.
Yeah. I see.
So,
and they'd be really easy to blow up, but cars too, though.
It's like the GTA. You ever play with like the car magnet and you go flying? It's death instantaneously. I think if all the cars became sentient, I think humanity would be wiped out almost instantaneously.
I like Jason Lee's question.
Hold on, right before that, can I just do one more joke that I didn't mean to get into?
Sure.
Okay, thank you. I think it. So you know how Cars has commercials for their movies. I think that it's cool that they're called trailers. So let's do.
Is this the best exercise?
So glad
The best exercise.
Okay, Jason Lee, this one's for you. This is
Okay,
the best exercise you can do without leaving your couch.
Great, good. Glad we're all on the. There's two mics.
Right, because we're pretty much all on couches right now. Yeah, so the best exercise you can do without leaving your couch.
It's still not. We did that one already. No. Okay, this is a technical difficulties moment.
Sorry, Jason, I love you.
So,
But am I allowed to say that one or not?
yeah, I mean, we did it already, so let's do
Did
a
we?
different one.
Why don't we?
Okay, innovative use of large malls in the future, but here's what I have to say. The future is now. Malls are dying across America, right? We are living in the retail dystopia.
Well, I think
the future.
that's the point of the question. So that's from my mom,
I know.
and I think that is the point of the question. So it's like
Have you guys seen the picture? It's the saddest thing in the world.
no.
Going back, because this is obviously the Easter episode now, too. There's pictures of a large mall in the Pittsburgh area that is not very populated anymore. It's mostly empty, but they still have Santa Claus and the Easter Bunny come out every year to sit there and have no one approach them the entire time. And there are these pictures on the internet of the Easter Bunny like sitting there in his giant throne of Easter skulls and eggs, like completely dejected, which I'm mimicking right now physically, and like just looking like if only one small child were at this mall, I'd be happy. Well, and there's no one there. Like there's no one in this mall. And I've been to this mall because that's where my wife grew up, and when we were dating, we went out. Sure.
No, you know, like Borat. Did you understand? Like Borat.
I got the reference.
Oh, okay.
So
there's a mall. Anyway, they brought out the big egg for the kids to sit on.
And there's no one there. And also, I would not sit on an Easter Bunny's lap. I do want to say that. So,
what makes the Easter Bunny different than Santa?
I think it's the fact that the Easter Bunny is
Santa's lap.
So there is a long-standing, like established thing of sit on Santa's lap and tell him what you want. Now, even if that long-standing is 100 years old, right, or whatever, it still has existed for a while. I have never heard anybody talk about like consistently about we're gonna go take pictures with the Easter Bunny or let's all go sit on the Easter Bunny's lap. Like, that's a weird Z, I think.
So you've never sat on the Easter Bunny's lap?
I've never sat on the Easter
That's
Bunny's
why
lap.
he doesn't bring you the toys that you want.
He always brings me the toys.
Do you ask?
Do you know how many Nerf guns I got this
Of course you
Christmas?
do.
It's just
If you have a magical creature who can bring you toys, you have to ask them for what you want.
You do.
Otherwise, how will they?
But you also don't have to sit on their lap. That is nowhere in the convention.
I mean, if you want to make them happy enough to bring you the toys you want.
Wait, so what I'm hearing from you is you sit on the Easter Bunny's lap until he's happy enough to give you what you want?
Ooh.
Yes. What he's saying is you need to be around the Easter Bunny's crotch area until it gives you its
he's
eggs.
happy enough, right?
Until it gives you its eggs.
Right.
I don't know if you know how Easter bunnies work, but they don't generally have eggs.
I think.
No?
I think
They steal the eggs.
the reason
They take them
from the pagans.
from the Who's.
From the Who's.
From the Who's.
And they bring them
I
over
would
here.
not feel comfortable sitting on the Easter Bunny's lap. It's just because I can't really like see the whites of its eyes. Like Santa, like I'm up close and personal with that. That's like a dude, but the Easter
If he's gonna harm you, you know he's a human
I'm
being
like,
because you're a human being.
you're like looking up, you're like, you're drunk. Like this is like third day of a binge. The beard's coming off. You're like, Santa's going for the knife. But the Easter Bunny
is like a full body beard.
It's a facade. It's like cold and calculating behind it.
Wait, so you think those are fake Easter bunnies?
I
is
say
what
you're assuming
saying?
there's a human being inside that? That's
caution warning. If you have small children in the area, how dare you? And
It's a mistake.
And kids, he doesn't know what's happening. The Easter Bunny is real, of course, because as soon as you stop believing in the Easter Bunny,
you get nothing.
You get nothing. You get nothing.
Then the Easter Bunny stops believing in you, though, and that's the real loss.
That's the real loss.
That's the real
Because he
sacrifice.
exists in reality, but you will fade into nothingness because his belief sustains you.
Yeah,
Marty
it's
very
McFly
Back to the
style.
Future.
Have you guys seen that?
The picture you just no.
I love that I use that Back to the Future reference for all those kids who have totally seen that movie.
that love back. I've never seen that movie. I'm one of them. So I tried to watch it. I got really
He's
bored.
like, I'm a
with it.
huge Back to the Future 2 fan, but I've never watched Back to the Future.
Haven't seen either. Did try to watch. The
I
first
showed you
one.
3.
No, you didn't.
I just held up like a poster.
Oh yeah, you did show me what it looked like.
You know the general.
That's true. I think I already said this, but my issue with sitting on the Easter Bunny's lap is the lack of pants.
Ooh.
Yeah, that's not as consistent as it is for... Oh, wait, no, you just mean the fact that Easter bunnies don't wear pants. Not that you had a unique experience where the very real Easter bunny was wearing half of his Easter bunny suit.
I think it'd be very funny if someone was in an Easter Bunny costume, but he forgot to put on his work pants, so he comes in like khakis, and then the rest. Everybody has the clip-on tail is on there.
Tucked in so that it looks like he has a giant beer belly.
The pants are tucked into the rest of the outfit.
So
business on the bottom, bunny on the top.
So I think what we should do with the malls is actually provide a place for all out-of-work seasonal mall employees to live for free.
That's
and
good.
So, like,
That's
all the
good.
Easter bunnies, like we had the Easter bunny wing, the Santa wing, the Halloween pumpkin wing, because that's got to be coming at some point in the future. The Valentine's Cupid wing. He doesn't have pants on.
Happy Honda Days car floppy guy.
Oh, like the
big floppy guy. Yeah, that's a good visual
The
guy.
wacky waving inflatable arm flailing tube man?
The wacky wailing inflatable arm flailing tube.
Yeah. So them, and then just people who work at JCPenney's also too.
Well, they can
They
also
get a share as well. The JCPenney.
It's a thank you for their service. Like, I mean, they work there. It's how you incentivize them to continue working there when they know the mall's going to go out. It's their pension. The mall's going to go out of business. Thank you for staying here. Here's all we have to give you.
I also think commerce-based like cage matches, where rather than competing for retail, you put a bunch of competing businesses in the same mall. Right? You don't have to worry about whether they have customers or not, because it is just a survival of the fittest mall experience, and you're monetizing it not through visitors, but through a reality TV experience. So you just lock the doors, right?
Yes.
JCPenney's versus Sears versus Hot Topic.
I was about to say about Hot Topic, they have an unfair advantage because they have lots of spikes in there. They have all finger rings that can get some good punches.
So you think about that, but like pretty much everybody in the food court has hot grease available to them.
Ooh, shit.
My money's on Cinnabon.
You think so? Why Cinnabon?
Because you can lure anyone into the Cinnabon.
It's just poison Cinnabon. Slow release poison. So like they're all 2 days later they all keel over dead.
Yeah.
So you vote on Cinnabon in this
absolutely.
I vote on
in this
Hot
reality
Topic.
TV
I might
experience.
also vote Taco Bell.
You gotta pick one because we're doing this. We're doing this
live now.
Well, Taco Bell has a
I've
sort
never
of
encountered a
make
Taco
people-
Bell in a mall. That's
There's
fake.
a Taco Bell in the mall closest to our house.
No, there's not.
Yes, there is. And
Fact check.
here's the thing.
That's a taco ball.
It's a taco ball. Yeah, it's a big taco party over there, Taco Fiesta.
I just Googled fact check.
Whenever I eat at Taco Bell, I have a very what's the word for cholera? A very cholera-like experience that leads me to have zero fluids left in my body and a whole lot of other things that are also not.
That's a good battle strategy.
So Taco Bell, I think, has and their food is cheap too, so they can we're going to provide food for everybody. They can pretend to be like battle medics, and they'll secretly give them.
He's down. Chili cheese burrito. By the way, Taco Bell, you took chili cheese burrito off the menu. I'm coming for you. I'm coming for you, Jonathan Bell.
We've modified
Be afraid
this
right now.
We've modified this T-shirt launcher to shoot burritos all the way across the food
but you got to pick one: Hot Topic or Taco Bell. Who are you going with?
I have to go with Hot Topic because I think the girl behind the counter could fuck me up. And I would be okay with that.
You're just scared of it.
No, I'd be okay with it. I mean, I'm wearing this octopus ring right now.
All right, what do you got? Who are we going with? I know you're fact checking.
Stores in a mall.
Stores in a mall. I mean, it's their stabs competing against each other with whatever they have on hand.
Well,
I would think whatever they do kitchenware. There's one in our home. What's the one downtown?
Williams and Sonoma?
Yeah, Williams Sonoma. I think they would
It's a lot
win.
of knives.
They have
knives.
They have a lot of knives. I've burnt myself on their free samples multiple times. Like there's hot chocolate. That stuff is really hot. Like
That's ridiculously hot.
I have an answer that's a little bit of a kind of flex on this.
Okay.
Okay. Always.
The people who work at the information kiosk. You know why? Because knowledge is power.
Knowledge is power. That is true.
And
they know
have it.
everybody's
They
weak
have it.
points.
They know everybody's weak points. They know where everybody's located. They know when people are open, when they're closed. They know when to make strategic strikes. They know when somebody's been taken out. They know they can
But
call
that's not a
security.
competing
They can
brand.
call security on you.
Them and the mall cops, I think,
Those
are
are
their
the
own
hosts.
sort of. They're the hosts of the
No.
KNN-esque.
The problem, the reason I think the information kiosk people lose is they just don't care enough. Have you ever met a mall information kiosk person who was not 100% apathetic?
I think that's part of why they win, right? I think that's part of why they win.
They have nothing left to lose.
They have nothing left to lose.
No, I think that's a really good
They're
argument.
and also
they're dead behind the eyes.
nothing worth fighting for.
Do what?
They have
Yeah,
nothing
because you know
worth
what? Whoever wins gets out of this damn place. If you want to go home, you've got to win.
I mean, I think the part where the Sears converted itself into a sort of death trap labyrinth was good, and they know where all the traps are, so that's an advantage for them.
But I do like that functionally, like even though we're making this a fake, like battle royale thing, this is functionally what is happening in malls across America now.
It is.
Do you remember the movie
Muscle
Demolition Man?
I do.
Yes.
I do.
So
No.
they have the
I
great
don't.
brand wars, and
The
every
only
restaurant
Chandler.
becomes Taco
We're
Bell.
going to Taco Bell.
Fun fact: in overseas releases, it was Pizza Hut.
Oh,
Yes.
But you know that's not an issue because they're all owned by Yum.
They all
It's the
own
same
Yum.
parent company.
So
That's why you see KFC, Pizza Hut, Taco Bell, A&W, KFC combos. Long John Silver's also the same company. You don't see that combo
It must
as
have
much.
been like a brand.
But I love their Hush
recognition
Puppies. So they don't have Taco Bells overseas. They do have
Yeah,
Pizza
that's
Hut
true,
overseas.
Sure. A couple years ago, I was in Uganda and we landed there, and our host was really excited once we landed to take us to this brand new restaurant, and we drove 3 hours.
It was
3
not-
hours out of our way.
Yeah.
3 hours, and we show up, and it's a Pizza Hut.
This is not what I was expecting when you said Pizza Hut. I was expecting an American Pizza Hut, but this is just sort of some wood that's been erected with
some pizza thrown over the top
pizza
to
on
make
it.
a hut.
It's a very creative use of the food, although the cheese is starting to get a little nasty.
He was very proud of their Pizza Hut.
Right.
Did you humor him?
I mean, like, so...
Oh yes, absolutely.
Here's the thing.
Amazing.
As horrible as that corporation is eventually going to be in Uganda, right? Like, as horrible as that is, like, right now they are creating jobs, and the reality is, overseas we just want to support people all the time with nothing. Oh, man, we totally forgot about those guys.
Sbarro.
Goth Sack Sabaro extending Hot Topic empire to far reaches of
It's
food
happening,
court.
people. It's happening. The Goths have taken over Sbarro's. But they're creating jobs. They're creating jobs over there. So, I mean, that is an important part of what they're doing, and that's one of the main things that they actually need in other countries.
Sure.
is
I
jobs.
think that's really good.
And pepperoni.
Exploiting the labor comes first.
And the Pizza Hut. there is some sort of like sung jingle that I'm trying to remember. Like
Pizza Hut, do 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 do.
no, it's like
Okay.
it's a Long John Silver's in a Pizza Hut. I can't remember it for the life.
I know
It's
exactly.
a camp song. It's a camp song.
Yeah.
Mark,
Yes, sir.
do you know the Long John Silver's in a Pizza Hut song like from camp?
I've heard that, yeah.
Do you know how it goes?
It's Burger King, a Burger King, Long John Silver's and a Burger King, McDonald's, Long John Silver's and a Burger King. There's more after that, by the way.
I sincerely hope those levels made it all the way over here.
I'll do a quick check. I think they're. Oh yeah, they did. They
Yeah,
did. Thank you.
good.
Thank you. That was Mark. Mark, everybody. Mark.
I can fling you those levels, no props.
Oh hell yeah! Thank you.
You want some Mariah Carey? They gotta get a little break off, a little Backstreet.
Oh yeah, kid, break us off a piece of that Backstreet.
Backstreet Boy Pie.
You are
My
fire,
the one desire me when I say
I want that Pizza Hut.
And also, Chris's roommates are hating us right now.
Hello, Chris's roommates.
Hello,
They
Chris.
have names.
Also, I come to you now with my tail between my legs, and I admit there is a Taco Bell.
Eat crow. Eat crow, motherfucker.
Currently served at Taco Bell. Crow.
Okay,
Eat
so
crow,
let's
maggot. It's ironic because it's backwards.
what are the items that you see at Taco Bell or have seen at Taco Bell or any fast food restaurant? This is kind of a Munch Squad homage right now.
I mean, they talked about the spiked lemonade thing, but I didn't hear that bit until after I was doing that bit about spiked lemonade.
right?
So I'll take that.
But what's the weirdest thing you ever eaten at Taco Bell that you were like, I should not have eaten that? Not that you regretted it necessarily, like, not that it went bad, but just that you were like, the risk I took in doing this was a bad risk.
14 Cinnabon Delights
14 Cinnabon Delights.
on a very hot and humid day out in Chicago.
They never got cooler than they came out initially.
They never did get cooler. They did get staler, though. They did get worse.
Michael, what's the thing that you've eaten at Taco Bell that afterwards you were just like...
You know, I don't have that answer because in the last 20 years of my life, I think maybe I've eaten at Taco Bell 3 times.
So all 3 of those times you felt
Yeah.
that way. So they released at one point because during Lent, which is 40 days in preparation for Easter, which may or may not have been stolen by the Grinch. But that's a good question. Did he steal Lent also too? If he took that?
Great.
So here's the deal.
No, he did give up theft for that.
He gave up theft for Lent and then came back after. So people come back with fish offerings during Lent because Catholics got to eat that fish on Fridays. And so they during Lent a few years ago started doing shrimp based stuff. And there was the first year they did it, I was like, that seems weird. This seems dangerous. Shrimp at a fast food restaurant that is not deep frying it seems like there's a risk at play here.
Yes.
And I went and ate it, and it was delicious. And I was like, I should never take this risk again. But I did every Friday that Lent.
And then when you looked in the toilet, it sure was seafood, but it was SEE.
You and this guy both. I'm on the review. Tyler C., local guide, the reviews, 1 photo, 5 stars, 10 months ago. Love, 2 exclamation points every Friday.
Weird that they both posted the same review.
So I'm not saying that's my screen name, but I'm not saying it's not my screen name.
Hey, who wants to play Brandstanding?
Oh, yeah.
Because I really want to play Brandstanding.
Sure. You guys get a copy yet?
I don't have a copy of
It's
Brandstanding.
ordered. We're still waiting on the
I
shipping.
did order it. It's supposed to come in November.
We're just going to sit here until November.
All right. And, so we'll do like a funny SpongeBob reference, and it's like, November later.
Mark, can you hand me a Brandstanding box?
A Brandstanding box. All right.
That'll do, pig! That'll do.
All right, this is the game.
Great.
It actually exists. This is not some sort of trick of...
Put the box next to the microphone so they can hear it.
It looks good.
That's the most beautiful card game design and color scheme I've ever seen.
You do get this, yeah. So the decks that you vote with are this beautiful rainbow of colors. The other cards are just red and white.
They're very nice. Like it's good colors. That's rare that people do the good colors.
Yeah. So we didn't want to just go like standard red, white, blue, green, whatever. I'd love to figure out if there's actually a shade of red and green that are easier for people who are colorblind to see, but we did not do that research at all.
Mm-hmm.
So we don't actually know. So I don't know about the accessibility level.
It's not a card game for colorblind people.
It's actually specifically.
Whoa!
It's not just not a card game for colorblind people. It's a card game that's not for colorblind.
If you are colorblind and you want to play with me, we can play. We shuffle that deck from
you. Just can't buy it.
We won't accept your money.
We will not. We will send it back.
Have a disability of any kind.
Whoa!
Which is why, they've rejected mine.
Ooh.
They've rejected my Kickstarter.
Make checks payable to Tony Vasinda directly if you want a copy of Kickstarter and have a disability.
The copy of Kickstarter.
So you can send that to blankety blank 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 blank. I'm moving to Philadelphia this summer. Just take your check there, walk around, and yell out loud, and I'll come find you.
Tony Vasinda!
Hey, Tony!
Hey, have you seen Tony?
I have $45 for any guy named Tony.
I'm telling you this right now. If you live in Philly or if you're going to come to Philly, if you pretend to be a time traveler throwing through time completely confused about your reality and say, I've been sent back to find Tony Vasinda over and over again until the police come find me, I don't know that there will be a happier moment in my life beyond like marrying my wife, holding my children in my hands the first time, or any other number of top-of-the-line experiences. Like out of my mundane experiences, that'll be the best one.
It will be the best mundane moment of Tony Vasinda's life.
I think I sold that better than you possibly could. How are we doing this? We're just going to play through. We're going to each get a couple prompts and do it.
I am open to whatever and play this game.
All right,
it's
so
not my game.
let's do normal prompts and we'll go around and we'll pitch and we'll let the listeners choose.
Yeah.
Okay, that sounds great.
Let's do a round.
So everybody needs 2 of each card.
Thank you. 2 of these cards as well.
Yeah,
That's what the word
There
each
you go.
means.
Are we allowed to look at these?
yeah, you can look at these.
Okay, excellent.
So what we've done, we pass out 2 of the white cards, which are demographic cards, 2 of the red cards, which are industry cards, and they basically will give us a type of business for a certain demographic that we are responsible for building. And then we pick 1 of each. I actually got one of the same combos that Jen got last night, but I'm going to go a little bit different of a flex at our live show, which the audio got lost from. So congratulations, Chicagoans who were there. Who our friends couldn't get in because of you, because it was a super popular and sold out show
At IO Theater.
So I went a completely different route than she did, though. So we're going to have a couple minutes to just look at our cards.
You're choosing the same card combo?
I did not. I chose one of the same ones. And so we're going to have a couple minutes now of just audio silence.
All right,
we're not going to edit any of this out.
Okay.
To come up with our thing. And there are 5 focus cards we would normally put out in the middle, but we're just going to do our elevator pitches to the audience. You can talk about why your company exists, your flagship product, any sort of marketing ploys you have. Let's take a couple minutes just to come up with kind of the whole shebang instead of taking time individually. And we're just going to leave the microphone running.
That's good. That's good.
Let it roll.
For all the good, really quiet jokes that we tell too. So just in case. I mean, I think
I don't know what you're doing.
I don't know. I'm just like thinking.
I'm playing a piano with my hand.
So you're up first, then.
It's a good thing to play the piano. All right. Well, fuck yeah. So I have been given these 2 cards here. I mean, I was given 4, but I picked these 2. So I got a beach result for trolls who live under bridges right here. First of all, it's going to be really close to some bridges. So, and it can't be too close to the bridges. There's a reason I'm not doing it under a bridge. I thought for a second when I was concepting for this about maybe putting it under a really big bridge, but I think for a resort, you're really trying to get away from a lot of the stuff that you face on the regular basis. So it's going to be close to some bridges, but not close enough that it's uncomfortable. Definitely going to be some goats. And you'd think at first trolls wouldn't want the goats around. That would be something they'd want to escape. But there's also guns. So, and rocks for throwing and for us to tell the trolls to get off of. Because if you stand on the rocks at the beach, you might slip and fall in. And we don't want that. Declining troll populations and whatnot. Lakes are basically just big rivers, which is something I want to make sure to differentiate my lake from a river that a troll might live near. Under a bridge for more of that escapism. And I think I'm going to do that by really highlighting the fact that it's not like a continuous stream. Like I'll have maps everywhere, like the kind you might see in a mall or at a beach, where there's maps of the beach at the beach, and it shows sort of just like how big the circle is, or the lake. It's going to be an inland lake, like most lakes are. And
yeah, when they get out into the water, it's a little hard to differentiate them from the ocean.
Yeah. I think that's important to note. YouTube is going to be in there because trolls really like interacting on YouTube. So I'll make sure there's some computers in YouTube. I worked as a beach guard for a while, actually, before I started this business venture, and our job was to tell people from out of town that they couldn't come there. So I'm going to make sure, and anyone who lived in the town that was a tax-paying citizen who didn't have a sticker that you have to pay for, tell them that they weren't allowed to come in, and they could fight the ticket. They would yell at you. And so I'm going to make sure that I have people stationed at my beach resort for trolls who live under bridges, to make sure no trolls that live on top of bridges come in. Because you don't want those 2 groups intermingling, sort of like a male beta situation. There's concessions there, definitely. It's a beach resort. You're going to have those. There's going to be flesh to eat there that they'll sell on and off the bone. None of it cooked. There's going to be fruity, slushy drinks that you can get. Some of them will have alcohol in them. Definitely some mutton that you can have. That will be cooked. Hotel rooms, they're not going to be too comfortable, because I think that would make a troll uncomfortable, And then from there, there's boat rentals, and that's kind of the last thing that I have, because they might want to go out there.
So if we get to 25K, we're going to unlock the first pitching coin, which lets the person who is to the side of you ask you one question. So Michael, why don't you ask Aiden one question about his business that he needs to respond to?
Sure. I guess I'm interested about marketing. How are you reaching out to the?
Well, we're going to be near some bridges,
but you got to get them from under the bridge to the beach resort.
Yeah. Well, I thought being near the bridges was going to be enough, but I think that's a good point. Just off the top of my head, there's been a lot of planning that's gone into this, so it's going to be kind of hard to make that pivot. But I think one thing we're going to want to do for sure is get on YouTube. Get on the Facebook and talk to these people who we're not going to make any posts though. We're only going to go in comments sections.
Excellent flex.
Thank you. I'll be here all week. For another 10 minutes.
The best part of your game was watching you realize where you had gotten to at the very last second. You're like, the comments, that's where we're going to be, the comments. It's a troll joke.
It's a troll joke. Not a lot of troll jokes out there, but that's a good one.
Have you guys ever listened to monster songs?
So my business is really close to my heart. I don't know that you guys all know this, but my family is from southern Louisiana, and so growing up, I used to spend summers working at Crazy Uncle Rick's, which was a fireworks stand that some guy who pretended to be my uncle ran. And the goal of the fireworks stand was simply to make enough money
to pay for their alcohol for that night. So what happened though one time is Crazy Uncle Rick sort of burned down his fireworks stand. And so he started a new business. And he really wanted to channel into something that people were really into right now. And there's a craze in the food industry that foodies are just flocking to. It's the burrito craze. Everyone is a big fan of the burrito. And so he really focused in on how do you create a burrito place for my people, my swamp people. And he really narrowed in some of the things that burritos can really do in the life of the swamp people, and really focusing in on the right kind of meat. And so Uncle Rick is our chef at Swamp Burrito, and he's really focused on fresh meat. In fact, every day the meat options are totally different because they're 100% based on whatever he rolls over on his way to the restaurant that night. But also, truthfully, our best-selling item, and for you investors listening, the one that is most profitable, is a little-known meat called nutria. If you've never seen a nutria before, it quite possibly is the world's ugliest animal. Think rat meets swamp creature, but bigger. And a little-known fact, in Louisiana, the state of Louisiana, because nutria have overrun the swamps, they actually pay you to kill nutria. In fact, you get $12 for every head of nutria that you kill. And so what we do is we actually go out nutria hunting. And so not only are we getting the meat for free, we're actually getting paid to use the meat to create some really delicious burritos out. Really, and the goal is for Rick, as all he wants to do is make enough money to pay for his beer that day. And so all the rest of the profits come right to us. And so it's a really profitable business model. So that's Swamp Burrito. Our tagline, yeah, you can eat that.
I like that a lot.
So my biggest question is, I've heard that that part of the reason your Uncle Rick is a little bit out there is that nutria, which has been a part of his diet for an extended period of time, actually leads to dementia.
It's true.
And that, so how are you dealing with this issue in your business model?
Well, so here's the deal. Because we are targeting swamp people, you have to realize that the lifespan of swamp people, with all the gators and the guns and the obsessive drinking
and the dementia,
the swamps, is not really very long. And so for the most part, they don't make it old enough for dementia to even really be a concern. And if it is, they'll forget all about it.
Excellent. So I want to tell you a statistic you may or may not be familiar with. 100% of people who exist to date had a mother. They may not know their mother, right? They may have other maternal figures in their life, but 100% of people had a mother that we know of. So moms are important. Moms are actually about 36% of the global population. The reality is that moms worry about their security. They have a hard time managing households sometimes, and if they work in the business world, which I hope they do, they also have a hard time getting sometimes the respect they need. So we actually had a bunch of moms who got together with their sons and daughters and started our very own high-tech munitions company because we figured we wanted to bring a real solution to what moms need. So at We Heart Moms, we want moms to be able to hurt you. And so we started this high-tech munition company.
We Heart Moms?
We Heart Moms.
Okay, I
want moms to be able to hurt you.
Okay.
So here's the deal. We come up with a number of different items at We Heart Moms that we think are something we can be really passionate about, that moms are. We love. All our product testing so far has gone incredibly good. Only about 50% of the people involved in our product testing have responded to the follow-up surveys. They've all been the moms, so we figure we're really hitting our target where we need to. And so a couple of our most popular items that kind of come in at 3 different levels have been the Naptime Nunchucks, the Peacekeepers, and I'll get into these a little bit more in just one second, the Blood Blossoms, and Mama's Mortars. So those are a couple different things. The top 2 are on our highest tier of product list. There are some rules about importing and exporting them, but the lower 2 are available no matter what country, no matter where you live in the world, for the most part. Our website, which is also doubles as a mobile-friendly app, also too, has 3 buttons on it that kind of take you to the 3 major sections of our product, and they fall underneath 3 categories: pacify, subdue, and eliminate. And so no matter what a mom's need are, if it's just like, hey, I really need the kids to shut up and go to sleep for a little while, that's where the nap time nut checks come in. They're a set of high quality steel with a button on each end that once the moms practice in the form of the nap time nunchucks, they can actually send an electric current through that will shock their child into submission and hopefully nap time. The next set is the Peacekeepers, which are a set of a highly sleep-inducing chemical formula that we have patented, like it's fully defensible. That if they need to subdue an attacker or just get through the business day without somebody bothering them, they can use to shoot somebody with a high quality tranquilizer that's going to put them out for a couple of hours while they can go about their business. The Blood Blossoms and Mama's Mortars, they're for larger scale issues. They're for big problems in the world today, or when you just don't want to deal with cleaning up the house. You can plant one Blood Blossom or shoot one mortar into the situation, and usually that's it. Nobody's going to bother you about whatever that problem was. Again, worried about a dirty house, not an issue. That house isn't there anymore, and so that's why at Mama's Guns, we heart moms, but we want moms to hurt you.
Was there a lot of demand for this product demonstrated? You felt that the community really wanted lethal capacity? Oh,
absolutely. Moms are constantly talking about how they are worried when they're walking to their car at night, after picking up the groceries, when they're getting ready to drop off the kids. And actually, we've had a lot of moms, like forward-thinking moms, are oftentimes putting some of our products in the hands of their children so that they can protect themselves. And so the reality is we've seen this becoming a generational product that almost all moms can get behind. They're all these concerned about security and safety of themselves and others because moms care.
Very nice. So, a lot of people own dogs. It's a very popular animal to have. And there's a lot of resources for dogs. There's dog parks. There's like veterinarians specifically for dogs. There's like dog daycare. There's like a lot of infrastructure put in place for the dog market. But what about people who don't own dogs, who own a pet that I would honestly argue is maybe a little more superior to a dog, just in really most every capacity, including lethal, friendship, shape, general scaliness. So for snake owners, you don't have a lot. You don't have, for instance, the lush green dog parks, but snakes are also a more cerebral animal. I don't think a snake would be satisfied with just some grass to roll around. And the snake is like the businessman of the animal kingdom. He is up top. He has to go do what honestly is the rest of the animals won't even deal with. So he needs places to talk to other snakes, need places to be with them. So this is why I propose our business, which we are calling Small Golf, which is golf for snakes. Specifically business-oriented snakes. Now normally this was posed as mini golf, but frankly, snakes are already mini. So it's just golf for snakes. So they're very small. And they do their business meetings, and you go with them, and you're their caddy, and you sort of put them in the one long sweater, which is just, it's like a tube sock with the end cut off, and you put the tiny hat on them, and you carry their small clubs, which are about, the size of a bottle, and you walk around the course, and they conduct business deals, and we found a lot of demand for this because snakes they're very cerebral animals, and we were planning on, so obviously, the need is there, but how do we get this out to people? So I'm mainly suggesting primarily billboards, but small billboards, because snakes, again, aren't very large. So maybe it also makes the cost a lot easier. So what you're going to do is you're just going to have, right on the street where all the snakes would be, you're going to have, hey, this is like a small little sign. It's like, hey, this was just for snakes, golf. And that's my product.
Okay, well, maybe there's a sign next to it with a presidential candidate's name on it.
Snake president.
Snake president.
You just ask him a question.
I had a question. I totally forgot what it was. I was stalling. I had it was a good question.
Yes.
It starts with what's that. I was trying to write it down.
As you rethink of the questions, I'll tell you a story. So we have played hundreds of versions, hundreds of games of this with 4 to 6 players over and over again. So thousands of different brands. That is the first time I've ever heard a match of the same 2 cards getting picked from the beginning to the end. In season 1 of the show, we have Snake Holes, a miniature golf course for people who own snakes for some reason, but out of thousands of brands, that's the first time there's been an overlap. That's really cool. It happened live and on air, and both of those things are cool. You can go to BSthegame.com backdoor.com if you want to get in on this. Typically, we would be pitching parts of this and then voting in between rounds, and you could be the winning investor or the winning player. We love the game.
So actually what we'll do is we want your audience to vote on whose brand they think is going to be the winner. So if they go to bsthegame.com/goodidea, they'll be able to vote on their favorite of the four brands.
Yep. We'll share that. So I have a question for you. I remembered it a little bit ago. So what's the most cerebral thing you've ever seen a snake do?
Sudoku.
Okay. That's good. I mispronounced it, but it's a snake, so it's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
And then
it's kind of hard. It's not a golf.
There wasn't even a beat. Like
I'll take us
obviously.
I'll take us out. We're gonna record that in a minute. I want to thank you guys, Michael and Tony and Mark, so much for joining us.
Mark,
they can find you at where can they find you guys?
The best way to get in touch with us is really to go to bsthegame.com. Check that out.
And pledge at Kickstarter.
Pledge at Kickstarter. This has been so
if you pledge at the Kickstarter, I guarantee you will email you numerous times.
It's true. But if you go to bsthegame.com/goodidea and vote on your favorite brand, we'll also put our social media handles up on there too, so you can connect with us there.
I also want to say that the name for my product is Trolls DreamWorks. Trolls DreamWorks Resort.
You're just trying to get the McElroys into your second hotel, aren't you?
Oh, no, actually, that was not the original joke. I didn't even think about the Trolls 2 thing, and then I'm like, yeah, there's the McElroy brothers will be in Trolls 2, so I'm excited for that. Anyway, Tony, Mark, Michael, thank you guys all so much.
Thank you.
Have a fantastic rest of your evening, and everybody go check out Grandstanding on the iTunes, and especially bsgame.com. Did I say that right or wrong?
bsthegame.com.
Do not go to bsgame.com. That's a bullshit game right there.
It is a bullshit game.
Yeah, they're trying to copy us.
Thank you guys. All right, thanks guys. Thank you guys for listening. Thank you so much. That was a really fun episode to record with the people from Brandstanding. The link that Michael mentioned, bstheshow.com/goodidea, right now is only redirecting to their Kickstarter, but should be redirecting to the voting thing later today. The website's just having some technical issues right now. Hopefully that should be resolved very shortly. And we're not doing any of the ending bits today because it's just me, and I feel like that would be kind of boring actually to do. I liked mine, and it's just me, so I guess those were the best ones. I liked all the ones I said. I don't know what they were, but they were really funny. If you enjoyed the show, give us a rating, a review, a subscribe, whatever. Do all those things. It really helps us grow the show. You can follow us on all of the social medias, basically at Good Idea Cast. You can send us an email. You can send us prompts, whatever, at goodideapodcast@gmail.com. You can follow us on our Facebook group to send us prompts, or join us on our Facebook group, rather, which is just Good Idea Podcast. Do those things. Thank you guys for listening again. That was Good Idea. I got nothing. We're done here.